about the latest topics in entertainment. I'm Brittany Jones-Cooper.
I'm Shannon Coffey.
I'm Allie Colbert.
And I'm Lucas Tim. Hey, everyone.
Good morning.
Hey, guys.
Good
How you
morning.
guys doing?
Good.
Good.
Yeah,
It's Thursday,
really
you know.
good. Oh,
Rainy
yeah.
day.
I know.
I know, it's such a bummer getting here, but I did see a man rollerblading in the streets in the rain, and he had a long trench coat.
Epic.
And it was like an ice skating moment where he like skid and a bunch of water shot up, and I was like, oh my God, he's glorious. It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, so that picked it up for me. Well, Marvel president Kevin Feige has confirmed that there will be at least 2 LGBTQ characters in the studio's upcoming films. In an interview with The Playlist, Feige revealed that the new characters will include ones that audiences have already seen and ones that are soon to come. In October, Thor Ragnarok star Tessa Thompson already revealed her character Valkyrie's orientation. She tweeted, "She's bi, and yes, she cares very little about what men think of her. What a joy to play."
I love that.
Yeah, she's great.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this. I think this is great. I love that they're pushing for this, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised that not all the characters are gay.
It's a lot of spandex.
Yeah.
What I love about Tessa, though, is that was really a revelation in that tweet because she had pushed for the director to add a scene that showed Valkyrie's orientation, and they ended up cutting that scene. And so for her to speak out afterwards, I think she's really kind of pushing for representation and inclusion. And there will be more movies coming out with her character, and I think maybe that will help her identity be shown in those films.
Yeah, I definitely want there to be scenes where we see this being active. And because, you know, I feel like a lot of projects have been like, yeah, the character is bisexual, they're pansexual, we're seeing people, and it's like, but if you don't put it in the story, is it real?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, like I want that deleted scene.
Yeah.
Well, like what's seen on that tweet with the fan, whoever that fan tweeted, like in the comics, Valkyrie's a big old lesbian, I think the exact quote is. But it's interesting because the comics are actually more progressive than the films have been. In the films, because, you know, Marvel's owned by Disney. Disney is, you know, kind of, it's a
Disney
big...
hates gays.
No, Disney does not hate gays. It's just a big
They don't.
corporation, but it's really refreshing news that they're finally taking this like very necessary step to include more LGBT characters.
Yeah. Totally, because remember, like something as silly as in Beauty and the Beast, the live-action film, when they were like, the first gay character, and I watched it, like I've seen it like 20 times, and I'm like, it's not even that gay.
Yeah.
Like,
Gaston's like the guy, but all is like he's just in love with Gaston. You're like, what? That's it? Like there's no any sort
But
of.
I think again they cut a scene that was a little
When he
more...
was giving him a hand job.
yeah.
Beauty
He
and
was
the
like,
Beast.
Gaston, yeah.
Bring my guests! Okay. Good morning!
Good morning, guys.
Okay.
Hand jobs. Who doesn't love them, right?
And Beauty and the Beast too, live action.
I love
where all
that
the
movie.
action
And they said there's one character we already know and there's one we don't know. So there's gonna be a new LGBTQ character coming on, which is a cool thing.
Great.
Too. An entirely new character.
Not coming out.
Not coming out,
Movie.
coming on the scene in the Marvel Disney cinema universe, which is very exciting.
We need more lesbian superheroes.
We do. I mean, just in the same way that Black Panther was so fun for so many Black people to come into Marvel and feel inclusive, I think it's just like I'm surprised it hasn't happened already.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to see the changes.
Right.
It's time.
It is time.
Well, the Marvel president also says there's gonna be, he wants more than half of the superheroes to be women. So like you said, so that's good
Damn
too.
straight. Women are
I need that.
superheroes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. That's coming out next year. That'd be really cool. And then Ant-Man, the new Ant-Man movie, has the first time a female co-lead as a superhero. So
As
that's
a
great.
wasp.
So excited for that.
As a wasp. I'm like,
Okay,
can they give her a
great.
cooler name, like Dragonfly?
He's an ant.
Yeah,
He's
that's
an
the thing.
ant, so
In the trailer though, she looks so much cooler than him. He's like, I'm Ant-Man, and then she's like, yeah, I'm the
What is
wasp. She's,
Ant-Man's
like, flying.
power?
I think he just shrinks down and gets real tiny, and he can go places. Like, you know, he can just crawl up in your butt.
And it's Paul Rudd.
we
so
are
he's
gonna be
fantastic
like
and funny.
trolled on Twitter for butchering Ant-Man, whatever. I'm sure there's some great superpower that we don't know about.
I mean, don't worry. I'm not saying that I know everything about Ant-Man. I know that he's hot and he gets tiny.
Yeah, great.
That's all you need to
That's all you
know.
really need to know.
I'm watching the movie.
There's also Marvel Rising, which is an animated series that they're developing, and it's like 6 female superheroes, and 2 of them are Latinx, 1 is Asian, 1 is LGBT, 1 is Muslim. So I think Marvel is like really doubling down on
And
this.
they all fight to find tampons. It's seriously incredible.
It's really groundbreaking for women.
Let's get them a Diva Cup. I feel like superheroes should use reusable menstrual products. Tampons are killing the oceans. I just found out. Don't flush them.
Is that true?
Yeah, they are. Like, I
Are
guess
they?
sea turtles are choking on tampons.
Oh my God.
It's horrible. I didn't mean to bring the morning
The
down.
faces in the
Wow.
audience right now are like,
We just covered so much in this little conversation about Marvel.
Like a fun morning show.
Yeah, and I'm like, sea turtles are choking on tampons. They're dying.
Yeah.
You killed them. You killed them. You killed them.
So from hand jobs to sea turtles dying, on other superhero news, really cool news happening, guys. Wakanda, we love Wakanda, is headed to Washington, possibly forever. The Smithsonian's National Museum of African American History and Culture will soon be home to several items from the record-breaking film Black Panther. The collection will display star Chadwick Boseman's costume and other memorabilia for a few days in October, but may become a permanent part of an exhibit, which is really, really cool. I'm so excited about this.
yeah. The dates were October 24th to the 27th.
Yes.
I think they need to extend that.
I think they will.
Because nobody's gonna get to be able to see it in 3 days.
October, yeah, 3 days.
It's 3 days, yeah.
And we just said for possibly forever.
Yeah,
Well, there's
that's the line. That's the line. It's a line in the movie. Like
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda
Wakanda forever. Oh, yeah.
But they're also
We're making
saying
a
they
pun.
might make it permanent.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
I think
okay.
depending on.
I
They
get
will.
it.
Why
Got
that-
it.
I think it should be because the film was made over $1 billion worldwide, and it's the highest grossing film with a black director. It was incredible. Has everyone seen it here, Black Panther? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was an awesome movie.
If someone hadn't seen it, I'd be like, get out.
Yeah, like, you can get out, you can leave.
You don't even go here.
Yeah, I think it's great, and the museum is such an incredible museum. Brittany, you just went
I
to it,
just
right?
went last weekend, and like not to like be too serious about it, but I'm kind of dead inside usually. Like I don't have a lot of emotions, and I think I cried like 3 times because I don't know. Like I studied African American history and literature extensively in college, but something about seeing it all in one place. It's so beautifully curated. The way they take you through the timeline, it just feels so important. And then they had the Oprah Winfrey exhibit, which is brand new, and she's like everything to me. And to see her journey and how she's contributed to our history is just like moving. And so if you do have an opportunity, and they did not pay me to say this, but I do think it's something like everybody should go check out because it just, I don't know, it lets you know just the contributions that the Black community has made.
And I want to read a quote that the museum put out because it comes back to the film. Black Panther illustrates the progression of blacks in film, an industry that in the past has overlooked blacks or regulated them to flat, one-dimensional, marginalized figures. The film, like the museum, provides a fuller story of black culture and identity. And that perfectly sums up why I think this should be a permanent exhibit in that museum.
Oh yeah, and there's other really amazing artifacts. They have like Michael Jackson memorabilia, Whitney Houston's outfits, James Brown's outfits. So it like fits in there perfectly, you know, just with like these iconic wardrobe.
And this is, are they not going to make another film?
They are.
Yeah, they are.
And this is his, like, outfit from the first film?
Yeah, it's like the superhero, the Black Panther, is the king of Wakanda, and they have this special uniform that gives him even more powers. And it's become iconic. The costumes were nominated for an Academy Award last year or whatever. So they're just like great movies. And that museum is awesome because of course it's the whole history, but like it also covers like lingo and culture, and like even like Nene Leakes is a little picture and like describing side-eye, and it's her in the beginning being like, whatever. Like it's an amazing museum. I recommend it. You guys can go. I think it's just so exciting for this to happen.
I hope it stays in there for forever.
Yeah.
Moving on, production on Quentin Tarantino's highly anticipated film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, appears to be underway. One of the film's stars, Leonardo DiCaprio, posted the first pic of the crime drama with co-star Brad Pitt, the best co-star ever. The film is set in 1969, the same year of the Manson family murders. And the film is also packed with other A-list talent, including Al Pacino, Margot Robbie, and Dakota Fanning. Do you guys know the whole, like, the Manson murder?
Give us the lowdown.
Well, I can't even...
Take us back.
I'm not even gonna take you back, but it is such an iconic Hollywood event.
The studio goes dark and there's a light on.
Yeah, and I'm like, in 1969. So it's interesting. I think they'll be covering it from just sort of like a different angle. And Quentin Tarantino is so, he does things in his own way.
Oh, yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting.
He's so different.
Yeah,
He's special.
how he approaches something that is like so well known and people know the story. Because I'm sure he's gonna throw some twists and turns in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, like the basic like summary of it is that like Leonardo DiCaprio is this old like a Western movie star and Brad Pitt's his stunt double, and they're both in a Hollywood they don't recognize anymore. So I don't know, is that because the Manson family are killing everyone? I don't know what that means, but okay, so it's, you know, his Tarantino movies are fun, so we'll see how this goes.
Brad Pitt looks so much like Robert Redford in that
like
photo.
twins.
It's
Oh my God,
crazy
I
to me.
know.
I just, when I looked at it, I was like, wow, how'd they get Robert Redford to look so young? Like, I was
Yeah,
like,
He does
wow.
look just like him though, young
Yeah.
Robert Redford especially.
Yeah, totally. He's just gonna age into him.
But I think the cast, the movie's getting some criticism because it's, you know, Margot Robbie, Dakota Fanning, Al Pacino are in it, great people, but it's like mostly a white cast.
Yeah.
So I think there's something like, come on, like no diversity
I'm like
in this
the
film.
only white person not in the film.
Yeah, we are, yeah.
The only thing I have to say about that is I'm okay with Quentin Tarantino not having another reason to use the N-word. He uses it a lot. I'll pass on this one,
Very
you know.
fair.
I think it's fair.
Yeah.
Knowing him, that he'll probably still find a way to slip it in.
I know, I was gonna say that. I'm like, we're gonna watch it and Marilyn Manson, Charles Manson is gonna end up using it anyway. We'll be like, okay,
Yeah.
somehow you crammed it in.
He finds a way.
Yeah.
I'm excited though. I do like Tarantino overall. Like some of his you know, he says some crazy shit, but his films are always a hit for me.
I just love the way he's done some problematic shit recently, so I feel kind of weird. But a lot of the films that I've seen of his, I do enjoy the way he can like play with history, and it's like the bad guys that we wish went down, he has a way of bringing them down.
Right.
You know?
What's your favorite?
I'm thinking of Inglourious Bastards right now, and just like, it's those moments that like we look back on history and we're like, why did this happen? You know, so there's something really satisfying and fun about watching that, and despite however he is, he's a good filmmaker.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, just the style alone. I love the wardrobe that I've seen peek out of this film so far. Then I think that's gonna be Tumblr worthy.
Right.
Yes.
And he did say this is the most like Pulp Fiction that he's done.
Oh, really?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
That's really
That
exciting.
is true.
Totally, love Pulp Fiction.
That's an amazing
it's so
film.
good.
In other exciting movie news, the trailer was released for Beautiful Boy, starring Timothée Chalamet and Steve Carell. The film is based off a set of memoirs from father-son duo David and Nick Sheff and chronicles a family that struggles with addiction. It's already eyed as an Oscar contender for 2019. Let's take a look at the trailer.
So how you doing?
I'm doing great, you know, just doing what needs to be done, and
What does that mean?
I'm sorry, Dad,
Why don't we just have lunch and talk? We can do that, right? Please. You think that you have this under control.
I understand why I do things. It doesn't make me any different. You're just embarrassed because I was like, you know, I was like this amazing thing, like your special creation or something, and you don't like who I am now.
Yeah? Who are you, Nick?
This is me, Dad, here, this is who I am.
This is not you. This is not you, Nick.
What are you doing, huh? You always gotta be controlling everything all the time.
Let me book your room
No, Dad.
at a hotel for a couple of nights.
Dad. I don't want it to go like this.
My son has gone missing. Nicholas Sheff, S-H-E-F-F.
There's no one by that name, sir.
There are moments that I look at him, this kid that I raised, who I thought I knew inside and out, and I wonder who he is. I thought we were close. I thought we were closer than most fathers and sons. Why?
I felt better than I ever had, so I just kept on doing it.
This isn't us. This is not who we are. My son is out there somewhere, and I don't know what he's doing. I don't know how to help him. You can't.
I don't feel like I have a disease. This isn't like cancer. This is my choice. I put myself here.
I failed. I can't do it alone.
I need to find a way to fill this black hole in me. I still have a family. I want them to be proud of me.
What you have, you're gonna find it again. You're gonna get it back. Do you know how much I love you? I love you more than everything.
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 Let's give a warm welcome to Timothée Chalamet.
Come here, come here.
That was too long.
Remember when Steve Carell was getting his chest waxed? We're like, Kelly Clarkson! Well, now he's in really, really dramatic films.
Yeah.
God, I love Timothée Chalamet. I mean, he emerged on the scene piping hot last year.
Yeah.
I loved him in Call Me By Your Name. I think he was just so great. I loved him in Lady Bird. He has like a cool, interesting look to me. I'm just so in it. I loved the GQ cover story he did
Yeah,
a couple months ago. I mean, he's just so cool to me.
He's so humble and down to earth.
He's on fire right now.
He's super intelligent, super talented, super attractive, and yet he's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
love it.
He lost weight for this film, guys. So he was not a fat ass before, okay? He was a skinny dude.
He lost 20 pounds.
weight for this movie. That is, I mean,
That must be like being a woman.
Yeah, right. That's what every actress does for every role.
20 pounds for a role?
That's called being an actress. Yeah. But
yeah, that was my joke.
Actually, Amy Poehler made that joke.
Yeah, right.
But people are saying that this is one of the first trailers out there we're seeing that are going to be Oscar contenders. And do you guys agree? I think it looks like it has what it takes.
Yeah, I think definitely, like, Timothy always gives a great performance. I think this role is so good for him. He's playing, obviously, someone who's struggling with an addiction. And I think just that first scene that we see in that trailer, it makes me cry. It's so intense. Like, the struggle of being like, this is who I am, but, like, am I my addiction? And I think he's perfect to play it because he's so lovable. We've seen tons of people play addicts, but he's someone that, like, even if he was literally, like, doing heroin on your couch, you'd be like, oh, he's still cute.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, well, it's interesting, too, because this is from Amazon Studios. It's an Amazon film, which is, like, again, goes in that whole territory of streamers now making Academy Award-nominated films. And I think it's going to be released October 12th, so it comes out relatively soon, right around the award season. But it's going to be a really big film no matter what. Amazon, the subjects, like everything, so I'm really excited for it.
I do love that I saw Amy Ryan, and it looks like she either plays Timothy's mother or somebody, or something like that. And she, if you remember from The Office, was Steve Carell's love interest. So I know it's not a comedy, but I'm still excited to see them come back together in a weird way.
Kind of reminds you of the good old days.
Like.
Well, it brings you, like, it's funny, these comedic actors turning to dramas. Kristen Wiig has done that in the past. Jim Carrey. Like, is there anyone else who goes from...
There's some moments that I've seen Kristen Wiig. She even had a small part in Mother, Darren Aronofsky's recent film. And I was just like, what are you doing here? Like, it's hard for me to sometimes get on board because I'm so used to them in funny roles. I mean, she's like a staple of American comedy. And then to see her take on something serious, it's like, and she wasn't in it for, sorry, I'm going on a whole discussion, but she wasn't in it for long enough for me to, like, okay, fall into, like, okay, she's serious now. It's just when you see her in brief moments, and those are supposed to be serious snippets, I'm anticipating humor. So when I don't get enough, I'm just like, I don't know what to do with this.
That's, I think, something that I think being in dramas for comedians is super hard and super impressive whenever they pull it off because you get so used to seeing them being funny that when you look at them, they're just physically funny to you. Like, I've had meltdowns here and you guys are like, LOL, and I'm like, no, I need help. I need help. You know, and Brittany's like, oh, Shannon actually needs help. You know, so it's like sometimes when you are like someone like Kristen Wiig or Steve Carell, when he's in that scene and he's like, my son's missing, I'm still like, LOL. You know, and he's like obviously going through something, but some people are just physically like they are comedy, so it's hard to detach that.
Totally, and Steve Carell is someone who, though, he's done a good job of like progressively getting more and more into serious roles, and we've seen him take this space, so now when I see him in a film like this, I'm like, okay, I can get on board with it. But those first couple roles, if it's not like meaty enough, you're just unsure of how to react.
Yeah, I totally buy him in drama. Little Miss Sunshine, he was amazing in Foxcatcher. Like, to me now, he is a dramatic actor. Who also can do comedy.
He is a dramatic actor.
Yes. Who can really, he's like a pure actor, though. I think he's like one of those sneaky, really, really talented, underrated actors, I feel like.
Yeah, those sneaky, talented guys. They're there. No, they're those sneaky, funny people, like, oh, they're really talented.
Yeah.
Kristen Wiig, Steve Carell, like, oh, they can actually act.
Right. Adam Sandler tried to do the drama stuff.
And you're like, no.
Oh my God.
Was that Click?
Click,
right? Yeah.
Spoiler, it's all a dream. Are you fucking kidding me? Click, I'm gonna click my TV off right now. That movie made me miserable.
Yeah, I don't particularly like how he wears sweatpants to everything. Sorry, I started to say that.
Yeah, that's a bigger issue.
Bigger issue.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah, it's another issue. It's not related to this, but so we got a movie coming up. I think we have a TV show ending, guys. I'm sorry about that.
Maybe,
right? Maybe. Actress Bella Thorne was in for a shock when she saw on Twitter that her freeform television show Famous in Love could be getting canceled. When Spoiler TV tweeted that rumors that Famous in Love was canceled, Bella tweeted back saying, quote, if this is how I find out our show is canceled, I'm going to be so upset. Very hurtful, Freeform. I would have liked a phone call, maybe. Ouch.
I'm just expecting at the end of that being like, you don't know who my daddy is.
Right. My daddy, the inventor of toaster strudels, is not going to be happy to hear about this.
It just has that tone to it, but that has to be really upsetting if that's true.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
No, getting fired through a tweet?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it's not definitely canceled, but I think it's rumors about it. Apparently, there's like, allegedly, like, Bella kind of fights with the showrunner a little bit, and the show's kind of very expensive, and so Freeform's kind of thinking about, like, maybe we should just get rid of it.
But I feel like these are all really stupid rumors because I read that, but then also then the showrunner tweeted and was like, no, me and Bella are cool, she's great, we hope the show gets picked up, we're all really excited.
Right.
So this came from a source called Spoiler TV. It's like, who the hell is Spoiler TV?
But in that,
It's me.
Yeah, it's
It might be
Shannon.
anybody.
Shannon,
I just spread rumors.
Shannon just spreads rumors just specifically about TV shows.
Yeah, I'm just trying to fuck up people's days.
But I think in Hollywood, news like that kind of spreads, but like, it's always like inside sources. This could be someone on the crew, or this could be like a writer telling someone who works on that website or whatever. But I mean, this isn't the first time. Like,
But it's not confirmed.
It's not confirmed.
No.
But this isn't the first time someone's found out on Twitter they were fired. I mean, I remember a former FBI director finding out through the Twitter that he was fired from his job and wasn't allowed to. Yeah, James Comey, and wasn't allowed to fly back on the government plane from LA. And that's in the grand scheme of being fired off Twitter. But is this like the new age and get fired off Twitter? Are we gonna find out on Twitter? Like, am I gonna find out I was fired?
Suzanne, are we?
Am I?
Is that gonna happen?
I'm the Bill. Lucas was fired today.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hopefully they have a
right now.
hashtag for you.
I would love a hashtag. I just want some followers at least.
Hashtag brunch is over.
Yeah, brunch is over. When you guys see that, you know the show's ended.
Have you guys ever gotten fired in a weird way or like quit in a weird way?
I've never been fired.
I've never been fired.
I've never been fired.
I have been abused at work. I had a boss who used to take me to the back and be like, what's wrong with you? Are you special? And I'd be like, what? And he'd be like, are you special? And I'm like, I think this is illegal.
What happened?
Yeah.
Did you quit?
No, I did. Oh, actually, no. The day I walked into quit, they like shut down because of one of the pipes burst and flooded the place, and then his wife left him. It was like his life went down the drain.
So
but it was a boba tea shop. It should have been super chill. I worked really hard, and he was just constantly being like, "You're an idiot."
It's a boba tea shop.
It's a boba tea shop.
But then later on, during the day, he'd be like, "You're so stupid. You're an idiot." And then late at night, he'd be like,
"You're so stupid."
Yeah,
That's horrible.
He was
Where
like
is this guy?
very, very a bad person. And then late at night, when I would be washing dishes, he'd be like, "I feel like we know each other from a past life." And I'd be like, "No."
This is bad on every level.
Oh my God, you should write a book
Yeah.
about that.
A book about that?
With his name in it.
Yeah.
You should write a
The
strongly
Boba
worded.
Tea Diaries.
The Boba Tea Diaries.
That sounds like a Netflix series to me.
That
Yeah.
does, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Wow,
heard it
that's
here
not
first.
good.
No.
I know, right? Isn't it scary? I feel like working
Yes.
out there in the world can be really scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of bad things that I've just been yelled at a lot.
Yeah.
Like I shouldn't say it.
You sure?
Because I remember, I can't.
Okay, someone's in the agreement. Anyway.
I was thinking about where I used to work, and I was gonna say it, and then I was like,
Nope, I will get sued.
You know who I'd like to work for? Barbie.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good transition.
Barbie just added a new career to her resume, and it may be her most important job to date. The new robotics engineer, Barbie, loves all things science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and comes with safety goggles, a doll-sized laptop, and a robot. Barbie's maker, Mattel, hopes that she will inspire a new generation of girls to pursue a career in STEM.
You read that like the Mattel commercial.
Yeah.
I tried
perfect.
to. I am a really great at reading prompter, and I just wanted you guys to know that. When I was doing that during rehearsal, I was like, Barbie has a new job, and it's a hooker.
And I could not stop laughing.
So that's why I was kind of smiling.
That's why I started laughing.
Yeah.
I know, I felt
Read,
that.
yeah.
Aren't you shocked, though? I feel like it's 2018. I'm glad that this Barbie exists, but I'm like, man, it's kind of late. Like, we should have a Barbie for everything. Like, where's non-binary Barbie? Where's vitiligo Barbie? Where's, like, alopecia Barbie? I want to see it all. Like, there should be a Barbie. There should be a hooker Barbie.
Yeah.
Why
Well,
not?
there probably is
No,
one.
you're
It's not
so right.
officially called the
Yeah.
hooker Barbie.
Some of them look like
It's like
hookers.
we all know she's...
Like, they're escorts, they don't
Yeah.
say I'm an escort. Like,
That's the Lindsay Lohan Barbie. Get it? Okay.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't know this until earlier today when I was reading up on Barbie, that Barbie and Ken actually split in 2004. But in February of 2014, on Valentine's Day, they actually got back together for one night only. And Barbie's now rocking being single. I think it's interesting that Mattel had Barbie and Ken break up.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you heard, though, but Ken was actually caught with Skipper. Yeah, he's seeing jail time soon.
Her own sister.
Yeah.
Her sister's name is Skipper?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like Skipper, like a young boy.
I thought that was true. But the cool thing about this thing
Transition.
Barbie is trying to encourage children to go into tech. So I think once you get this Barbie, you get some sort of like online access to an online program. And through Barbie and other toys, they're trying to like encourage millions of children to get into tech careers.
Which I support because they push princesses real hard.
Yeah.
And that's great. But I grew up in a house where my mom didn't buy me a Barbie. She actually didn't believe in them, and I was kind of encouraged to do other things. And I think with like the Frozen and all the princess stuff happening, sometimes we lose sight of like arming our girls with other skills and talents. And so I do like seeing such a like notable brand push this. I think it's important because people still play with Barbies.
What do you mean your mom didn't believe in them? I have a weird issue when people are like, well, I don't believe in that. It's like, well, it's a thing.
Yeah.
So, like, your mom just didn't like the
I think
idea.
at the time, you know, Barbie, there wasn't a lot of diversity in Barbies, so there weren't black Barbies when I was growing up. And I don't think my mom wanted me to have these unrealistic ideas of what my beauty standards should be. So that's where my specific story is coming from. I had other baby dolls, but I had very diverse baby dolls. You know, like. And my mom did buy me a Barbie, but it was from the dollar store, and it was like a dashiki Barbie, and she was wearing like a dashiki, like African print. So like that was my own journey with Barbie, but you know, I think a lot of people have their own issues with.
I would make my Barbie and G.I. Joe like hook up all the time.
That's a rite of passage.
I feel like Barbie was all about who can you get Barbie to hook up with.
Yeah, I actually had her hook up with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it was a good time.
That was just for a good time.
I'm just saying, like, those turtles are a bunch of freaks. They took off their shells. She was like licking that skin underneath the shell. It's nasty.
In my Barbie convertible, she was hooking up with Kelly. Shit got wild.
I
was just like, and look at us now. You know what I mean? Like,
let's be honest, Barbies are designed to scissor, right? Like, they are.
Are we getting sued by Barbie?
I love Barbies.
Yeah, wait, okay.
I buy Barbies.
We love Barbies.
I want to say, wait, there is a presidential candidate Barbie, right?
It
doesn't matter right now.
I want to know.
I feel like now we're getting into the territory where Barbie the doll is gonna run for president, and we're gonna be like, she's a fucking piece of plastic, and I'll be like, she's better than what we've got in the past.
She's the woman I was waiting for to run.
Oh, yeah.
Do we have any more things to say about Barbie? We good?
I mean, I
love
could keep
her.
going, but I think we should stop.
I think we should stop.
Okay.
It cost $13.99.
But just to be clear,
That's
we
good.
all, except Brittany's mom, kind of like Barbies.
No, yeah, I still have Barbies. I make jewelry out of Barbies. I use their little Barbie heads.
Okay, we're gonna move on. All right, and now it's time for our special guest. If you're a fan of TV and movies, because who isn't, you're going to love our next guest. She's written and produced a lot of crowd favorites such as 30 Rock and Pitch Perfect. She also just directed the movie Blockers, which will be available on DVD and Blu-ray next week. Let's take a look.
I'm in.
What?
I'm in. I'm having sex tonight, too.
Just like that?
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Because it's your first time, and your first time should be special and perfect.
Yours can be special and perfect. Mine is gonna be tonight, and with that dude. Just brownies.
Connor Aldrich, your lab partner?
Listen, my student-athlete days are over. Tonight is the beginning of my adult life, and for the first time, I can do whatever I want. So I want to go to prom, get drunk, get potted up on weed, and lose my damn virginity.
We're gonna have the same first-time sex anniversary.
We can go to dinner every year and commemorate it. Breadsticks for life, bitch!
Guys, please welcome the director of Blockers, Kate Cannon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you I'm so happy to be here.
We're so happy to have you.
We're so happy to have you.
I really enjoyed the Barbie talk.
Honestly, we did not know it was gonna go there. That was a very authentic discussion.
I loved it.
Yeah. I mean, you roll with it. Butt chugging, scissoring. It's all the same family, you know?
It's all connected in some comedic amazingness.
Animals,
Synergy. Yeah.
I just saw the movie this week. We have a copy of the DVD here.
On that.
It's so funny. It's so awesome. And you are one of the few female directors to have directed a rated R comedy.
Yeah, studio release comedy.
Studio release?
Thank you.
So badass. So awesome. Tell me about it. How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels great. Like when I was shooting the movie, I didn't feel any real pressure other than the pressure I was putting on myself as a first-time director. But then when the movie was coming out, I was like, holy crap. I hope this does well because there's so few of us ladies who get this opportunity. And if it were to not do well, I think there'd be even fewer. So I felt this like huge stress of, the Monday before it opened on Friday, I like woke up in the middle of the night. I was like, to my husband, like some kind of fake thing that you only see in the movies. Where I was like, people are gonna see the movie. They're actually gonna see it. It's not gonna be just friends and producers. It's gonna be real people.
Yeah, I would imagine that pressure feels like a lot when you are one of the few females doing it.
Yeah.
And the DVD that just came out has a lot of special features. What do those involve?
There's a lot. There's a lot of like runs. Like we did a lot of improvising, a lot of different jokes. So there's a lot of that in there, which is really funny. There's a puke sequence in the movie, and so there's kind of a behind the scenes of the puke colors that I chose.
That's
for
hilarious.
and how each person.
Is it really serious? The artistic decision behind?
Yeah. There's an art behind it for sure, and like a lot of I was like, what would Sam have eaten during the day? So there's that. I think there's some butt chugging. Extra fun, if you can believe it. I think there's just like a lot. And then I do a commentary on it,
That's great.
So you mentioned all of the fun stuff you talk about, but I read that you have a daughter, and she actually influenced how you approach this movie. So how did that
like when
connect?
I read the script, I was like, actually related more as a parent than I did as who used to be a teenage girl who lost her virginity. I was really like, I looked at my daughter at the time she was 2, and I was like, she's so perfect, she's so beautiful, she's so smart, and one day she'll grow up, and I hope nothing bad happens to her. I was like, please don't date like Jax from Vanderpump Rules.
Oh God, what?
Oh no, do you love him?
No, he's the one. Oh no.
He's our next
Come on out, Jax. Oh, Jax! Oh, I hope that you're my son-in-law one day.
With Jiggy.
Or whatever, or whoever she wants, But I was like, how am I going to be as a parent? And I'm a really progressive mom. I just really want to make sure my daughter grows up and loves herself. That's, that's all I care about. I think that's the biggest challenge, just trying to make sure she loves who she is. So I thought a lot about that. And I wanted to show, I know it's this R-rated, raunchy comedy, but I really wanted a movie that she could watch when she's old enough that shows regular women, like young women who have agency over their own sexuality and their bodies, and they're smart and capable and all that kind of stuff.
And a movie that also shows how cool her mom is for directing it. I mean, that's super, that's amazing.
Try telling her that.
I will. So your resume is so impressive, but I'm always interested to know, what made you want to get into comedy?
Ever since I was a little kid, I have always been drawn to comedy. I was an actor first, and I was in a bunch of comedies, and so I have kind of I've kind of grown into my face, but I had a bit of a cartoon face growing up, so I was definitely never going to do dramas. I was always going to be in comedy, but then when I was in college, I saw The Second City. I'm from the Chicagoland area, and I saw The Second City out of Chicago. And that show really influenced me a lot, where I was like, that's what I want to do for a living. And I still went and got a master's in education because it's a tough career choice to make. But yeah, that's what just inspired to make people laugh, I guess.
And then at Second City, you met a certain lady named Tina Fey, which is how you ended up writing on my favorite show of all time. Literally, the most influential show, 30 Rock, that made me want to go and become a writer and go into TV, no joke. And I was looking, because of course I was doing a little research on you yesterday, and you wrote one of probably the most iconic 30 Rock episodes, Black Tie, with Prince Gerhard Habsburg.
That was my first script.
No way.
I wrote scripts to get the job, but that was my first official script that I ever written.
If you haven't watched 30 Rock, go home and do that.
Yes.
But that episode really defines how weird and witty and funny 30 Rock will go for the next 7 seasons. So what was it like writing that script and then writing for the rest of the show?
It was so crazy, yeah.
Gerhard.
Gerhard, yeah, and he had this tiny little baby.
It's my birthday!
Yeah. Thank you for coming to my birthday!
And Jenna, across the board, it's so funny.
And he's like, dance for me.
Yeah,
and he's doing all these hands. They're like, you gotta see it, guys.
Yeah, you gotta see it.
Bunch of nerds up
No,
here.
it was amazing. Well, because I co-wrote it with like Tina Fey, who because it was my first script, so she was such a great mentor to me. And what was really cool about it was the shooting of the episode, because Isabella Rossellini was also in that episode.
Yes.
And so Paul Rubens, who played Gerhardt, was in this like little like sort of wooden wheelchair made specifically for him, being really weird with this tiny little hand. And then he and Isabella Rossellini had a moment together. They had this beautiful story of how she had written him a letter back when he was having some problems, and her letter was like, be kind to yourself, don't give up. This happened to my mother, and sort of helped save his life in a lot of ways. And so he was telling her that, and then they hugged. And so I'm like, first time like baby writer watching Isabella Rossellini hug Paul Rubens with a little tiny baby in hand or whatever. And I think that's just like amazing moment. It was really, really special.
Oh, that's so great.
That's awesome.
I also want to talk about Pitch Perfect because I'm a huge fan. I did some competitive singing with my choir in high school.
I love it.
Those films, I was like, this is so me. Like, this is so like true to what it's like when you're out there and we're like, we're taking this too seriously. We're singing pop songs. And you also produced those films. So like, how was it experience? And like, did you know it was going to be such a huge hit?
No, I had no idea. I just wanted to write a comedy that was set in college, and that had music in it. Like, I did not anticipate that it would be, marketed to young girls. It's terrible. Of course it is, but like for me, I just wanted to write a funny movie, and for me, I was writing a sports movie where they are competing for the champion, and they're the underdogs.
Yeah.
So I think having that approach actually helped the movie, because I just felt like as an improviser, it's kind of the same kind of world, like. In that it can be competitive and we take it really serious, and so people become famous and all that kind of stuff. But I wrote it in 2008 or 9 or something, and then Glee came out, and it was dead. Like, it was sitting on the script was like sitting on a shelf for like a couple years or something. And then we finally got greenlit with Universal and Gold Circle, and so it didn't come out till 2012. So I was just so happy, like at the premiere of the first movie, I was just like, I cannot believe this movie's coming out. Like, I still kind of felt like it wasn't gonna happen. So that there's a second and a third is unbelievable to me.
It's like a phenomenon.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And like what I still get sent so many videos, and one of the ones that touches my heart so much is there was these kids, 12-year-old boys in Dublin, Ireland, who came out of school, and they were like in a Catholic school or whatever, and they took off their jackets and stuff, and they were singing Cups through the streets of Dublin, and it's just like without a care in the world, you know, like not feeling like they were being judged or anything like that. And I thought that was so cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
We actually have John Michael Higgins coming on tomorrow.
Oh, the hilarious John Michael Higgins.
Who is one of the what is it, commentators in Pitch Perfect. Him and Elizabeth Banks are so
good.
So funny together.
How fun is it to watch them? Is that a lot of improv?
Yeah, they do a lot of improvising. It's really fun to write for them too, because it's like once I realized like that he was just a terrible, like misogynistic character, and that she was kind of like calling him out, but also she had her own issues too.
So good.
It was really fun to write for them. And then of course they just go off and they improvise a ton. Like John especially is an amazing improviser.
That's amazing. So like I said, we have him coming here tomorrow, and we want you to leave him just like a little question or a little love. So do you have any questions for him? And if you do, can you say it to camera 3?
Camera 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. John, was there ever a line of dialogue that you said that you felt went too far?
That's good.
That'll spark some conversation.
I'm excited to hear that tomorrow.
I love that.
Yes.
So of all the hats that you wear, and you wear a lot of damn hats, which do you really love? Which like feeds you the most?
Well, definitely directing. Because writing really sucks. It's like, it's really hard. And all the jobs are hard, but writing is just, you know, what's wonderful about writing is that you can actually like hold a script and you're like, I made this and it's tangible. And but directing is, I don't know, maybe that combination of directing something that I write is like what I think is really gonna challenge me and something I want to do next. But I like bringing something to life.
You also created the great Netflix show Girl Boss, which I love. So do you have any future projects creating more TV shows?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah. I have a production company called K&L Productions with Laverne McKinnon, and we are doing both TV and film, and we're gonna come out with bunch of stuff.
Oh, so
That's
excited.
great. We're so excited to see all that.
Thanks. Well, Kay, I feel like we could talk to you for another hour, but we're gonna let you go. Guys, give it up for Kay Cannon.
Thank you.
And Blockers is available on Blu-ray and DVD starting July 3rd. That's all from us today. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same table.
Thanks, guys. And thank you so much.
Oh, you're